Make sure you don't pee. Who's in the bathroom?
Not peeing on the
Evan.
I'm not peeing.
No. You gotta wipe the floor because how do you pee in the drum? I gotta put my hands on the floor. And you never sweat.
Player versus player. It's time to talk about the hardest game mode in Rocket League. Now, probably there's been nowhere else to turn to. Practice your mechanics for hours, done multiple training bags, played for hours upon hours with your friends, and so you are just not getting the results that you hope for. You found out you have no other way to improve, and that every part of your game is on hard except for that evil 1v1 part. You want to improve as fast as you can, and you know you can without improving your 1v1 game. You don't want to scream at your computer for hours, raging at your opponent, eventually uninstalling the game. You don't want to sweat at the top of your lungs and have your mom come in and take your computer away from you altogether. Well, that's why I'm here. Hi, I'm Vig, here to teach you how to become a well-rounded 1v1 player, and how to rank up fast and improve your overall game. Now, these are my tips on how to improve in Rocket League 1v1s. Tip number 1 is shadow defense. Shadow defense is basically when you shadow your opponent's movements while they are driving towards your net. You want to be facing your own net while they're driving towards you so that you can turn quickly and intercept the ball. What you want to do is you want to force your opponent one way so you'll cut off their angle to goal. This will force them to take the ball past you, and it'll give you a much better chance of saving the ball rather than just giving them an open net. Now, if you use shadow defense, I guarantee you will give up less goals in Rocket League. Tip number 2 is decision making. Rocket League is a decision-based game where mechanics are important, but you can beat out higher-skilled opponents through outsmarting them. Now, decision-making isn't easy, but it comes with time. The first decision you need to think about while playing 1v1s is when and how to challenge the ball.
You have to choose these challenges wisely because you not only want to think about taking the ball away from your opponent so that they can't score, but you want to think about what you can do with the ball after you step. You want to set yourself up in the best position to score afterwards. For example, so on this play in the moment, I was focusing on grabbing the small pad side boost the challenge when I got back. Then I saw the ball go up the wall and he jumped off to try and score a doomsday dish. Now I predicted this happening, so I jumped up the challenge and I made sure I hit it towards the wall rather than into him. If I would have hit it into him, he would have had a chance of dunking me and scoring a goal. Then I conserved some boost and saw the ball was going to hit the wall and come straight back towards me. So I positioned myself accordingly and got the shot on goal on an open net. Additionally, you have to choose a smart time to step when the ball isn't in a dangerous place to where your opponent can score on you. You shouldn't step unless you know it's a ball you can win. For example, if the ball is in the opposing player's corner like this play, don't step. It'll put you in a bad position 90% of the time and you will most likely get scored on. Tip number 3, positioning. Positioning is probably the number 1 tip you need to improve in 1v1, and that's just my opinion, but there are many situations to where if you're positioned correctly, you can take advantage of your opponent's positioning and score a goal regardless of how much boost you have. For example, so on this play, we go for kickoff, and he wins it, so I know the only chance that I have is if he goes for boost, but smartly, my opponent stayed on the ball with 0 boost and got an easy goal on me. This was a smart play by him, and he kept his positioning, and that's why he got the goal. You know the saying, ball over boost? You don't? Well, that's because people choose boost over ball all the time. The boost is useless if your opponent scores on you. So focus more on putting your car between the ball and the goal, and focus more on getting the small boost and keeping your momentum. You want to keep your momentum by continuously flipping and moving around the map. Wave dashing is also very important with keeping your momentum. If you don't know what wave dashing is, there's many YouTube tutorials on it, and it's quick and easy to learn, so that you put yourself in the best position to intercept the ball and score. I promise if you do this right, you will give up less goals, and you will blow your opponents out of the game. Tip number 4, boost conservation. Going off my last tip, you don't always need to get the big boost. I recommend going into a training map and learning the routes of the small boost, so that you can keep your positioning and still have boost. I would also, as I said earlier, try to flip and keep your and save boost for when you really need it. It only takes a minimal amount of boost to do basically everything you usually do in a game. The more you ration your boost, the more of a chance you will be able to make a save or score a goal over your opponent. Tip number 5, adapt as lit. Even if you beat them to the ball, if you have a bad hit and they have a good recovery, they will most likely score. So stay on the ground and keep the ball close. Also, don't go for challenge. Don't go for the ball in the offensive zone with 0 boost when your opponent is right there. Here's an example of this. During this play, my opponent went on the wall and tried to get an extra touch past me, but it was an awkward touch for him, so I got an easy goal off of it. Instead, he should have just headed back with boost. He would have most likely been able to save the ball and gain possession again, and I most likely would have been more patient with the ball. But since he overextended himself, I got a free goal out of it. So don't flip into the ball on the wall with no boost. Don't go for any fancy plays. Just play smart and we'll rank up. Trust me. Tip number 8, kickoffs. Now, I know kickoffs are unpredictable, but if you put your car right behind the center of the ball and you flip into it, you are putting yourself in the best position to win the ball, especially if you don't know how to quick face off. But even if you do, then I would still play it safe, still quick face off and in the middle of the ball. Also, I recommend if you lose a kickoff, the next one, do something different. If you adapt your kickoffs based on your opponent, you will give up way less kickoff goals and you will score more, I promise. Remember this tip and you will win more face-offs in the future. Basically everything. For 9, watch Pro Rocket.